Okay, hello. This is another video, partially a part two video explaining more in depth about what I want to do with language learning. Now, I have a mixture of active and passive languages that I would like to learn. Excuse me for a second. And I have different reasons for wanting to learn these languages. So, like I said before in the intro video, I'm not doing this to show off anything or do X, Y, and Z, whatever. Um, but it's mainly to document my own progress and my own journey. And, if I get good at some and bad at others, then that's fine. I'm just documenting it just to learn. I welcome all criticisms and encouragements. Um, And like I said before in the intro video of my channel, by no means am I trying to teach people a language. I'm just documenting what I'm doing. So, in language learning, especially in the polyglot community, you hear these terms, passive and active language. Um, so I have had I have had free languages that I would have loved to learn in the past. And I do apologize for the barking dog. Um, but anyway, there are free languages that I would have loved to learn in the past, but never had the time to because of family obligations and other stuff just getting in the way. So, um, these are the three main languages that I would like to learn, either actively or passively. The first language is Spanish. Now, the Spanish that I would kind of like to learn. Um, so I mentioned before in the intro video that I am a Spanish minor. So obviously that's going to be my active one because on top of learning it myself, I'm going to be taking classes, for my minor. So that I kind of have to have as my active language. Um, However, there are other two languages that I've always wanted to learn. I tried picking them up many years ago, when I was a teenager or in my 20s, and my life got crazy and in the way. Family obligations, having to take care of family members, um, personal stuff just getting in the way. But now that I have the time, I thought I would take the opportunity to learn them. The first one is Spanish. Um, so this is, like I mentioned before in the intro video. Um, I minor, I minor in it, so it's going to be more active than the other two. Um, it's really, I'm trying to think of, um, okay. So yeah, you basically know what active means. It's going to be mostly, intense learning with, um, mostly with this one, I'm going to document my progress. Um, Give me a minute. Just let me pause this for a second. Okay, I'm back. So basically, it's going to be an active and intensive, basically what I have learned from others and what I have learned from myself, and just going over what I can. Um, so the next one, the Albanian. This is going to be the passive to active language, meaning like I'm not going to intensely study it, but I've always wanted to learn and brush up. Um, with and leading this to my second reason, um, well, the first reason for the actual language, um, I've always been interested in Albanian ever since meeting native speakers of it in my area. When I was, I would say, 16 or 17, a large family of Albanians moved into my area, and I met them in high school. And they would obviously talk their language to each other in class, outside of class, and I keep hearing it a lot. And I didn't know about the language, and I was rather curious because it sounded a little bit like a mixture of two languages, and I was really curious. And when I found out it was Albanian, one of them helped me learn a little bit here and there. Um, it wasn't until like my early 20s did I decide to actively learn it. And um, it is kind of interesting. For those who don't know, Albanian is, I believe, its own language family. Even though it's like in the Indo-European group, it's not like a Romance language, a Slavic language. It's actually its own separate entity by itself, and that's what makes it so unique. Um, I have always loved the sound of Albanian. I sometimes listen to Albanian music, and it is the most amazing music I have ever heard. I even if I don't understand the words, I can just listen to it for hours. Um, so that's one of the reasons why I kind of want to learn Albanian is because I really want to be able to understand what I'm hearing and maybe um, introduce myself to a new culture. The Mediterranean slash Balkan area, I've always found that extremely fascinating. I've studied like world history, European histories, and it's just so sad that I haven't been able to learn like a um like that region of the world's history. Unfortunately, when I took some history classes in college, I they did have European history classes, but the furthest east they go is Russia. They do not talk about like Southern Europe that much, Southeastern Europe, the Baltics. They don't go into that much, unfortunately. And it's such an interesting area, and I just love learning about it. And that's why I kind of want to learn Albanian because it sounds interesting enough to me and um just sort of unique that I just need to try it out. Um this is also like it it's also because like I see Albanian as my compromise language because now, I know a lot of Greek speakers growing up. As I said in the intro video, I know a lot of Greek speakers. I've heard Greek spoken since I was a little kid, and I've been around the language so much. The only thing is, it's really, really, really hard for me to learn Greek because of um, the Greek alphabet. Um, a language is hard enough to learn in the Latin alphabet, let alone when it's in another alphabet. Um, Primarily if you're an English speaker. Um, so this is kind of like a compromise for me. Like I'm still in that region that I love, but it's something tangible to where at least I can see the letters good. Um, so like I said, this one is my passive to active language. It's passive because I want to really perfect my Spanish and really get that in, but it's also active because I would really like to pick it back up again and really would love to sink my teeth into it just because, not because I have like a lot of speakers and I need to learn it for work or anything, but mostly because I really want to hear the language again and see what I can do about learning it. Um, the last one is going to be mostly passive. Brazilian Portuguese, the Brazilian dialect of Portuguese. Um, the reason why is because I have several friends from Brazil, some around the Rio de Janeiro area, some in the northern area, some in the southern area, some in the central area. Um, and I would really love to learn how to speak to them in their language, even though they can speak fluent standard English. I would just love to be able to talk with them in their native language. And because I hear them speak it so often, I should have no problem having conversations with them in it. Um, but like I said, this is going to be passive, so it's not really. I value my Spanish more over anything else because that's going to be the most useful in this for me. Um, and the other two are going to be passive. So I'm going to see what I can do as far as learning them. Um, like I said before, these languages, like, this one is going to be the most active. This one is my number one go-to active language is Spanish. But these other two, um, it's not that I'm not going to give them attention. I am. It's just I'm not going to sink my teeth into them hard. Like, um, like I might you learn one of them passively starting this summer, but as summer becomes more into fall and I'm starting more Spanish oriented stuff, then I might like make them more passive and it would be less content on those and more like, okay, here's some stuff in Spanish that I learned and I'm going to speak some of what I've learned so far and see what I can do to perfect it. So it's not that I'm choosing favorites. It's just from where I am, I have to see how much time I can give to each one. Um, I know that this will be hard. This will not be easy per se. Um, I do already know some Spanish, basic Spanish, not a lot, just like basic elementary worth. Like, I know how to say my name. I know how to describe something I like or hate or something, on and on, those basics things. Um, but in order to carry on a full conversation, I would need help. So that's why I want to perfect it. Um, but the other two, I'm going to see what I can do about just um, learning them and seeing what I can do passively. And hopefully it works out in the end. Like I said before, I'm not doing this to educate anyone. I'm just doing this to record my progress. And that's solely what I'm going to do. So, that's it for this video. I hope it was informative about what I want to do with my language learning. And again, like I said before, I'm not doing this to be a show off, or I'm not doing this because, oh, I would like to teach people these languages. No, no, I'm not doing that. This is just for me, myself, and I. And these videos are just progress for me. And if if I unintentionally help people in their journey, then that's great. But I'm not here to teach anyone. I'm here to solely record my learning progress. So that will be all until next time.